It's the Brother Streep garage of groundbreaking inventions.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Brother Streep garage of groundbreaking inventions. And this week we're talking infomercials.
Infomercials, I mean, they were basically the inventions when we... I remember watching infomercials when I didn't have very much to do, like on a sick day, or they would play at kind of 12 o'clock in the afternoon when everyone was doing things. I don't know who they were appealing to, but you sit there and you say, this new set of pans is better than the old set of pans. Throw away those old pans. Everything burns in the pans before. I think it's the cook who was the problem in all those old pans, but anyway.
I need pans, actually. One of my pans stopped working. I mean, it was
What
still,
does that mean?
it still works. You put stuff in, it still heats it up. But you know the non-stick thing?
Yeah.
It's decided, stick. I don't care. I'm out.
Yeah.
Stick and do whatever you want. And so now it's like developed this weird black grizzly thing. So maybe I should actually just call a sick day, go home, watch some TV, see what pans I should order, and get a new set of pans.
You totally should. I mean, they have probably the most amazing knives on those shows that I don't know why criminals aren't buying knives from these infomercial places, because they are clearly the best knives. They can cut through tins. They can cut through wooden blocks.
Shoes.
I mean, you don't need to cut through a wooden block when you're making dinner. But they can do it. If you wanted
No,
to.
that's important though, because how many times have you been in the garage and thought, I really need to cut through this big wooden block, but using a saw, which is primarily designed for cutting through wooden blocks, just seems like too much of a lass. I'd rather go get something that can slice up an orange. What if you're using one of those knives and you're slicing up like a cucumber or something on a chopping board? Surely this is going to be like, bleak, now I've got to get a new chopping board.
Through the cupboards, down all the way down to the ground.
You can't stop. Sorry, apartment below.
They sell them with titanium boards for cutting on.
And they were always presented at the end of the infomercial by like a ninja, but like a very stereotypical 90s ninja with the film. Here you go, have these knives. They're a secret from the East.
The secret is they weren't selling. So they gave them to Isabel Jones.
And by the East, I mean China. They mass produced.
I really loved the vacuum cleaner ads where they showed you how strong the vacuum cleaner was by picking up bowling balls.
Yeah.
That is the way that you show how strong that
And
is.
that's phenomenal.
That's just not mess. That's a misplaced bowling ball.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like you're coming home from work and you're like, flip, I've got to put a bowling ball in my shoe.
Maybe that's what they do at bowling alleys, is that they go around. Shunk, shunk,
Maybe that's what's behind the thing.
some guy.
Just some of these vacuum cleaners.
This is how tough is that like little bit of paper or hair that's on your carpet at home that you need something that can pick up a bowling ball to get it up.
What kind of people are spilling the sorts of things we're seeing in those adverts being spilt onto carpets?
Yeah, it's not one spill.
Yeah.
It's you've had a party, you've spilled wine, you've got blood on the carpet. What kind of party is this?
There's a grease from when you decided to change your tire in your lounge. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And then there's exercise ones, the hundreds of millions. Don't buy this, buy that. It's the exact same thing. I mean, the body is doing the work, surely. The thing's not going to be the be-all and end-all. You had Abflex, you had this, you had that.
You had the health walker. It's a bit weird, the health walker. Who walks naturally as if they're doing some sort of comical sprint?
It's low impact. And even lower impact than that was the sauna belt. And I didn't understand the sauna belt at all. You basically wear a belt that makes you hot around the fat area.
You just sweat
where you are.
Because
apparently you just sweat fat away. That's how it works.
You gotta sweat though for like probably a solid year to lose like a pound.
Then they had, of course, the little computers for kids, the I Learn Order. You imagine that kid going to school nowadays with that thing. Like, hey kids, cool Poindexter, you'll be beaten up in the first 5 minutes. It teaches you English and math.
It's very strange. The health walker, going back there though, I think they based that on just John Cleese and Monty Python. That's the kind of walk you end up doing.
But they had the health walker, but then if you're watching a different channel, it was the fitness flyer.
It's true.
And they were doing this and then superimposed clouds behind them. So you were actually flying through the air. If I figured out I could fly, I wouldn't fly like this. My first kind of instinct would be to do the Superman or
And if I could figure out I could fly, I'd probably not care about what I weighed. I'll just
Yeah.
fly around the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's going to weigh you down. Or maybe that's why they invented the fitness flyer, for people that fly.
Well, something that I think actually worked, of all of the products that they told you, there was the thing that made big bubbles. Now, I may be 26, but that appeals to me.
Wait, so
Being
you don't
able-
know if you're 26?
No, I am. but being able to make a bubble that can encapsulate a human, that's exciting.
That's quite exciting, but is that the same infomercial channel time that we're talking about here?
I think so.
Or is that while you were watching kids' TV
Oh, maybe.
and they just showed you an advert?
About Bubble Maker.
This is basically just an advert for a toy.
Yeah, I think you somehow thought that was an infomercial.
Maybe I
You
did.
know that clown with you plug the hose in and goes up?
Yeah?
That's not glow mail as far as I know. That's
Oh,
just the
no.
clown that goes up.
That was quite fun. I
That's
mean,
pretty
I didn't
cool.
have one, but it looked fun.
It looked terrifying.
Well,
Yeah,
only
so
if you're sitting on
If
it
you
when
did
you plug
that,
it in.
if you took that to someone's house when it was dark and just outside their window,
Turned it on.
I just
That
feel
was
that's
scary.
what's nice about it is a cross-purpose product because you've got. I mean, if you know the normal advert you would have seen would have been for kids, but if it was on Glow Mail, it would be the self-enema homemade kit kind of thing.
It's true, there weren't enough self-enemas back then
Yeah.
on infomercials.
Well, that I think wraps up the show for this week on Infomercials. Thanks for watching. Post a comment, like the video, and subscribe.